So I confirmed that Judah wants me. He was okay with the 22nd and 23rd.
Wait. Huh?
Judah's next visit.
Oh. And that's like on a Saturday and Sunday? That'll be perfect if we just... And then no other patients?
I should clear it out.
You should make sure that it's clear. No other patients. I mean, maybe if you have a quicker one or two in Los Angeles, like in that area, it's okay. But you don't want to have to come back to the Inland Empire. Let's stay over there and have like a beach day or beach weekend. We could even try to make the RV available.
Non-available?
Unavailable, like to renters, but available to us. Yes, oh my god. I should see if Bolsa Chica is like, if there is space, or even just anywhere else in that area. We can just rent a resort.
Why would you do that? So we can drive from LA to Orange County when there's a beach in LA.
My bad.
You got it mixed up.
I don't know where all the beaches are.
I don't think there's a resort. There's a beach spot there.
Like an RV resort over there?
In LA, I don't think so.
No.
You can try to get a spot by the...
So do people just park?
Yeah, I see a lot of RVs.
And like boondock?
Yeah.
And that's okay? So if that's okay, then, I mean, I'm cool with that too. I just don't want them to be like, there's a curfew.
Right, I know. That is
10 p.m. you have to leave. And then we're stuck to looking for a Walmart parking lot.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But it looked like there was people just pulled up.
Okay. Let's see what we can do. So I was like looking at the thing you sent me.
Okay.
Thinking about doing the tutoring online. I'm just trying to figure out which platform to use. So I used to do that.
Do what?
I used to tutor, but I didn't do it online. I actually did it in person. I had my profile on Wyzant, it's a tutoring platform, and then that's when people would just hire me, kind of like an Uber for tutors, I guess.
Right.
So yeah, parents like just hire me, tell me what their kids need help with, and then I would usually just meet them in the library or Starbucks. I never like went to someone's house or invited anyone over, and I was just like, we can go to the library. So then I would just like sit with the kid for an hour at the library and, help them with their homework or whatever. I did that I really only just did that for a year. But
a year is pretty long. You say it so flippantly, like it's 2 months.
I mean, well, because like, I feel like it's only significant if you've been doing it for years. Like, that's when you can say, like, I have experience. I'm a veteran. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional.
Okay. So what was your experience?
It was cool. Mostly, I mostly taught or tutored kids who were in, like, 7th and 8th grade or 6th grade. Like, I had a couple high school students and a few, like, throughout the summer one year, I did have a couple parents who had me tutor, like, all their kids, like, in a group tutoring session at once. So... And they're all in different grades. So I would like, and it was just during the summer, they're like, oh, we just want them to like get ahead of their class, I guess. Which I don't understand the point of getting ahead. Because your student is still going into the same grade with those same students at that same level. And if they're ahead during the summer, that means they're going to be miserable in class. They're going to be bored and they're not going to pay attention. They're probably going to goof around.
Right.
I mean, that's what used to happen with me. My parents used to make me watch learning videos all the time, and they would give me extra homework. Because my mom, I think it was my dad who told my mom that she needed to, teach us and make sure that we're, like, on top of the class. That he wanted us to be, like, number one. Because, you know how my dad is. So she did, and I was always, like, the smartest kid in class. I always knew things ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that sucks. You're ahead of everyone, and it's a big deal. I get my work done faster than... Like, it doesn't actually benefit you to be ahead of all the other kids. I think it's... Because it's not like you're learning something new in class. You're kind of wasting your time then. And they're not putting me in any... it's not like they allow you to skip a grade that easy, either. Because, that probably would have helped.
Right, I was going to say that, unless you're actually going to skip to the next level.
But no teacher ever brought that up and said, oh, she needs to skip the grade to the next level. That never happened. I don't know what you have to do to skip to the next grade, but... So anyway, I always felt like I knew everything ahead of the other kids, but I was still having to like learn it with them. So it's kind of a waste of time. I mean, unless I think you're putting your kids through like a special school, maybe if they go to a charter school or a private school, the curriculum is a bit different and it might be a little bit more customized to the student. But if you're just sending your kids to the public school, just your local public school, if you're trying to get them ahead, they're going to be bored in class because they're ahead of all the other students and they're kind of wasting their time. And in fact, some kids will actually start to just be hyper. They're not, because they don't want to be engaged.
They're restless.
They're restless. They already know this. They're bored. So they start being distracting in the class and they can't stop talking with all the other students who are trying to learn.
Well, that's where the school system fails children.
Yeah, because if a kid is more advanced, you should have moved them ahead.
The school,
But it's hard for them because they have like 40 kids to a class.
The curriculum should not be one size fits all. It should be tailored to the individual.
Exactly. Public school system, I think, definitely failed the students. It's not even the teacher's fault. There's not enough funding. So we don't have enough teachers. The class sizes are huge. And what can one teacher do to a class size of 40 kids? Like, you have no choice but to do like a one-size-fits-all curriculum.
Right. Can't. It's too much for one person.
Yeah.
Well, they made teaching, the career teaching, as like it's worthless.
Yeah.
You don't get paid well, and the society does not look up to you as a important figure. It's a shame. It's backwards. Instead, society glorifies people like Warren Buffett, who made his money just sitting on his ass, buying stocks. I mean, we promote an investor, someone who he didn't contribute anything to society. He just made billions of dollars through stocks. And meanwhile, our teachers are made to live off of miserly incomes, and they're overworked. You have one teacher to 150 students in some cases. It's a shame.
Yeah.
I don't know why we still fall for the okie dokie. Majority of people still believe wholeheartedly that this system cares for them.
Yeah.
And that's why we're just passively going along with it. And it's been that way for decades. I think that the time when revolutions and uprisings were around the 60s, and the powers that be were able to cut it in the bud when they killed off the leaders. They killed off MLK, Malcolm X, John F. Kennedy. Like, these were the people who were supposed to drive that progress, the progressive movement, to the next level. And once they killed off those leaders, that was the end of it. It was downhill from there. So I believe that we're at a new renaissance now. We're at the cusp of another push to the next level. And what's making that possible is not even human beings. It's the internet. It's technology. That's giving us that push. Or else society would just continue in this miserable way. Just people dying, just stalemate. The rich getting richer and the poor. It would just stay that way. But because whoever designed this universe is so smart, it's like a video game. We have to go into the next level. And for us to go into the next level, boom, this thing appears called the internet. It just appeared. It's like a cheat code or an upgrade.
Yeah.
They just upgraded us from analog to digital, like that. And now we're here. Okay, so we have the internet. Wow, we actually have YouTube. We have this thing where we can record ourselves and somebody on another side of the world is watching us.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like, people who were born in the 50s, 60s, like, this is magic to them, what's happening right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? But of course, human beings, we have the ability to adapt so quickly, so it seems effortless. It seems like, oh, yeah, it's supposed to happen. No, the fact that we can. I remember when I just came to this country recently in 2003, 2004, you had to buy a phone card to make phone calls into Nigeria. And like you could hear the dial tone.
I remember the phone card days. Yeah.
Yeah, and you had to dial this number, and then it connects to another number before it connects to them. And on that side, the phone networks were so bad you could barely hear people.
Yes. International calls were terrible back then.
You had to scream on top of your voice to get the message across, and all you could hear was like shh.
Yeah.
Shh. We've moved on from there, and just like that, it seems like it didn't even. We've so easily moved on from now. It's
right.
disappointing
it's like,
when they don't have video conferencing. You're like, what's wrong with you? Just don't you have WhatsApp?
And we can contact people on the other side of the world for free now. For free.
We used to pay for it.
We used to have to pay for it. Whenever we call our grandparents in Pakistan, we had to pay for it. My dad had to go to a certain store, and the thing is, he always had to call his friends to ask where that special card is going to be sold, like which store it's
there was usually a brand that had better service than the rest of them.
Exactly.
And you always bought that one brand.
And you always have to, you hear that through word of mouth. Like, you have to call your friend who's going to say, hold on, let me call this other guy. And then eventually he gets the answer, and then he'll call you back and be like, go here.
Yeah, get this particular card. That one is, instead of $10 for 120 minutes, you get $10 for 140 minutes.
Exactly.
Like 40 whole minutes, 140, and you're so excited because you feel like you won.
Exactly.
You get 20 more minutes out of that $10.
Oh, I remember those days. I mean, I didn't actually firsthand experience this. I just watched my parents go through this. And like...
I lived it.
Yeah.
I lived it. And now we have WhatsApp, and you can just fire up the camera and you're talking to someone.
Crazy.
It's amazing. And
wow,
we're here.
Yeah, you're right.
We're here. Okay.
We're here.
So,
suddenly it's like the veil has been lifted. It's like you have access to all of your cousins that exist on the other side of the world. I didn't know most of these people until after like MSN happened, and then oh my gosh, Facebook. That is what like yeah, because now I can see everyone's photos. We can actually call each other right there. Now it's like you don't have an excuse not to, say Mubarak to every single distant cousin that you have.
Yeah, because they're watching you.
They're all watching you. They all know your life now. Back in the old days, you were just some person, some relative in America.
Distance.
They had no clue what you looked like or anything, and then suddenly it's like Facebook shows up and they're like, "Oh my God, that's Moise's daughter! Oh my, wow, that's what they look like! Oh my God!"
Distance used to be a barrier.
Yeah.
Distance was actually distance, but now you could be wherever you want in this world. We can
and
talk.
We can know each other.
We can really be in each other's lives.
Exactly. And the thing is, they know that now, and like the grandparents know that, and they put that guilt on you. Like, you should be calling everyone now. You have no excuse not to text everybody and keep up with everyone.
But taking a step even bigger, like step back like a couple steps.
Okay.
Where you don't really have to stay in touch.
I mean, you really don't, but at the same time, now I think it's more transparent at this point. So mind. It's like, yeah, it presents you with this choice.
It's your mind that's torturing. If you were really living in the moment, like we should be, it's not. It's unfair to you.
You can technically go back
to you to
not knowing who these people are, but at the same time,
hold on. It's unfair to you to give up your time like that.
That's a lot of time.
Just
having to keep up with people.
And there's only one of you.
And then I always feel guilty, especially my cousins in England. Like, really makes this.
And it comes from a place of guilt, which is also a negative feeling. Why would they entertain guilt? It also comes from a place of fear of loneliness. Oh, okay, they're gonna hate me, and they're all gonna leave me, and I'm gonna be all by myself.
Yeah,
No,
there's that too.
it's never gonna happen.
Right.
I've also seen people who die who are supposed to die alone, like they didn't have any family, and even at their deathbed, there was like nurses and doctors and staff. For that brief moment, these people cared. That person, the individual, did not die alone.
Yeah, I guess technically, but I mean, it's also their job, so you kind of feel like, oh, how much do you really care about me?
No,
you don't even know
you're
me.
because you're allowing your mind to introduce negativity.
Is that
If
true?
you're living in the moment, you will appreciate their presence. Period. Doesn't matter if they're being paid to be there or not. See, awareness or consciousness calls us to be bigger. Because it gives you a level of responsibility that demands that you look beyond surface level.
Right.
It's not always easy because, we're mere mortal. But that's what consciousness.
Well, our consciousness needed
demands.
to evolve, and I think that's why it was inevitable that we would have at least we would have some tool that would connect us to everything. It had to, if it wasn't going to be the internet, it would have been something else. But something was going to take our evolution to the next level.
And in another 10 years, something else will pop up.
Right. I'm sure. We're moving at a really fast rate.
I think that it's going to be like a lot of these, like that Black Mirror episode.
Which one?
The one where feeding was not a problem. Like, looking for food, shelter, water, those basic needs were already there. Now, the survival has moved on to ideology and things that you like to do, what you're passionate about. What was it, that one where he was standing in front of a mirror and based on his passion of where someone could die or he could die? Do you remember the episode I'm talking about?
It's not ringing a bell, but keep going.
It's like this black kid and he was like in prison. It wasn't like a prison, but he's stuck in this room and he has to watch himself.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I think I remember.
And based on how passionate he is about something, somebody either survives or someone either dies. So I can't remember most of it, but my point is, there will get to a point